Okay, we all know how crazy dinner time can be, right? Running all over the place trying to figure stuff out. Well, my buddy here, Payton Curry, Chef Payton Curry, has a great idea for a one-pot dish. Everything, your whole meal in one pot, right? So no muss, no fuss.
No muss, yes, of course. And it's nice and simple. It's cost effective. You can do this entire stew for about under $20.
Really? And how many people will it feed?
Myself and maybe one other, but I'm a big eater. So, you know, we could do a family of 4 for sure. Okay. You add a little bit of pasta to it, that can, you know, definitely go
That'll
to 6.
beef it up.
Yeah, for sure.
No pun intended.
Not at all. We have 1 pound of beef stew meat that you can find anywhere in your local grocer. In the meat department, they have it there.
Okay, all cut up. That'll save you some time.
It's all cut up, which will save you a little bit of time.
Okay, and then this is a special spice concoction that you put together.
Yeah.
What kind of spices do you have in
here?
We
have chili flake, dried oregano, a little garlic powder, onion powder, some dried basil, and then just some paprika. So.
Okay, so what are you going to do first? You're making a marinade,
We
you
are,
said.
and this is something that you can do definitely overnight if that's something that you want to do.
Ah, so you could do it the day before?
The day before,
Save some time?
You could definitely save some time.
Okay.
And then all we're going to do is...
And if you forget to do it the day before, like I would,
yes, you can do it right now.
How long do you marinate for?
You know, this could go, 5-10 minutes, or definitely benefits from overnight if you have time.
I've always wondered, when you say marinade, I always feel like that's something that has to go in like a plastic bag and sit in the refrigerator. Is that true?
Some do, or this is more of like a dry rub that you'd use. A little bit of olive oil in here and some wine, then you'd have a marinade. So people do it in the plastic bag, just so you can flip it, toss it, turn it in your fridge. So this is done.
Okay, done.
That's
Love it. All right, what do we do with it now?
So we're going to go from here, and then we have just our 1 pot that we're using. It's a little bit warm. Just a little bit of olive oil. And we're just going to get a nice little sear on the meat here.
Now, there's something about this pot that is really cool about this dish that makes the meat more tender, I think. And this is a Dutch oven. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have a Dutch oven, get one. They're awesome.
And if you don't have a Dutch oven, use a crock pot too.
Okay.
Do
you have to brown the meat before you put it in the crock pot?
I prefer to brown the meat, yeah. It gives it a little more depth, a little more flavor.
Okay.
Gives your broth or your stock a little bit more color as well. So.
Excellent. So we're going to brown this up, right?
Yep, we're going to brown this up.
Okay.
And then the mistake people commonly make is they'll brown all this meat and then they add all their vegetables to it, which makes them kind of a little bit overcooked or a little soggy, right?
The vegetables?
The vegetables. So what we're going to do, just to even save even more time, is after we brown all this meat, we're going to add a little bit of stock to it. And then right at the end, maybe the last 15-20 minutes, we're going to add a little bit of frozen vegetables that you can keep in your freezer. This is something that you can get together, no muss, like we said, no fuss, right? So.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and brown this meat up.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like this meat's about done. So what do we do next?
We're going to add about a tablespoon of mustard to it. Give it a nice little stir. And then once it comes back up to temperature, we're going to add about between 1 pint and 1/4 of chicken stock to it.
Okay.
So we add a little stock and then bring it back up to a slow simmer, not quite a boil. And then we're going to put the lid on it, turn the heat down to low. And then we're going to let it fly for about 1.5 hours, maybe 2.5 hours at a slow, slow simmer.
Ooh, that makes a nice, nice brown sauce. Look at that. All right. What are we calling this dish anyway?
Magic, just a touch of magic. No, it's a simple beef stew. Nothing crazy, not reinventing the wheel by any means, but something that if you come home from work, you know you have friends coming over at the last minute, you can definitely get this done quickly.
So we're gonna, it's simmering a little bit now, so we're gonna put the lid on it.
We'll put the lid right on.
And we're gonna let it fly for 2 hours.
That is correct.
2 hours, 1 pot. Let's go. Okay, 2 hours later, it's done, right?
It's done. It's ready to go.
And it smells really, really good.
It smells great. Be careful, the lid is going to be a little bit warm. I do have kitchen hands, so it's easy to work with.
That's right. I have glue fingers.
That's good.
Glue gun fingers. Good. So, okay, but here is what you guys are going to love about this recipe, because it really doesn't get any easier than this. Once you've done that and you've let it simmer for 2 hours, the easy part is adding frozen veggies.
Right, and this is the secret.
And why didn't we add it earlier? Why didn't we put it in there 2 hours ago?
A lot of these vegetables that you buy nowadays are individually quick frozen, so they freeze them literally almost right off the farm. So if you do throw them in, Or if you were to throw them in 2 hours ago, they'd be soggy by now. Well, this is going to keep them nice and vibrant. They're going to taste differently from each other and also differently from the stew as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid back onto this, give it another 12, 15 minutes, and then come back and we're ready to go. So if you were to serve this with pasta, now would be the time that you would cook your pasta.
Oh, okay, good point. And what's up with the balsamic vinegar?
The balsamic vinegar adds a little bit of depth to it. Vinegar is nice to a stew like this. It makes it vibrant, makes it pop. And also, we haven't added any butter or cream to this whatsoever. So it's very low in fat in that sense. So maybe about a teaspoon of vinegar. We'll stir it up. We'll put the lid back on it. And then dinner will be served.
Awesome. I'll go set the table.
That looks great. I'll do my hair.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
You're amazing.
It's nice. It's a quick one-pot dish. Not terribly high maintenance by any means. So.
And look at that, though. You know what? It's the meat that makes it hearty. I can see how adding all kinds of different things like pasta, potatoes, any kind of veggie that you really like.
Yeah, even croutons, grilled bread. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be a crazy meal, right?
And it's inexpensive, and it'll feed the whole family, and it only took one pot. Okay, so all you have to do is check out the website for the recipe. Thanks, Payton.
You're welcome.